What's going on, fellow YouTubers? This is Hurc and Reapertate doing a joint venture together here for you guys. We were recently at the New York, the East Coast Comic Con, last weekend, and Anthony went on Saturday. I went on Sunday. We couldn't work it out to go on the same day together, but we're here to share a little bit about our experience at the con and let you guys know what's going on over here in the New Jersey convention scene.
Yeah, it was a very cool con. I must say it was one of the better ones that I've been to in a while. There was a con in Edison back in November, and it was okay, but it was a little let down. So coming to this one, it was very satisfying, especially with all the dealers. Really, really nice people, and I got a really good chance to walk around and look at everyone's stuff. Whereas the last one, there wasn't that much. So very happy to be able to get some of the comics that I really actually wanted.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good con. It seems like it's a con that's getting better every year. You know, the big one in our area, of course, is the New York Comic Con at the Jacob Javits Center every year. But I think that this is also a nice con to go to, kind of like in between the New York Comic Con. This year they had a lot of great guests. Some of the folks that were there this year, Neil Adams, who makes the rounds at a lot of the tri-state area conventions. Michael Golden, Mike Zeck, Mark Wade was there, Ken Lashley, Phil Jimenez, and other artists as well. Joe Jusko was there, who I was very happy to see, Billy Tucci, and Bob Camp. So there were a lot of different artists there, a lot of good, also vendors as well. CBCS had a table there.
That's right. And I found out when you started talking to me that CGC was there. I didn't even see them.
Yeah, they had some representatives there, and that was one of the things that I did as well, but I didn't, I obviously don't have those back yet, but I submitted 2 books for Signature Series, 3 books actually, 2 with Joe Jusko, 1 with Neil Adams, and then the rest was just kind of like walking around and looking at the tables and stuff like that. I was a little nervous because Joe Jusko didn't show up until he strolled in casually late around 12 noon. And I was like, I knew that he would come because the one guy that was doing the CGC with me, he had commissions that he had already given him. So he had to obviously come back and return those. But I did get nervous. I'm hoping that, he's going to show up at some point. But was very happy to see Joe Jusko.
Yeah, I regret not seeing him. I went to go see. I went there when it comes to getting a signature. I went there to get James O'Barr, the creator of The Crow, and he was sitting right across from Joe Jusko. And I went on Saturday, and Joe Jusko I saw Joe Jusko there, and it was kind of early. He was signing. They were all signing like around 10ish, but after you came back and you were telling me about what a great guy he was, I regret not going there prepared to try to get something signed from him, or at least going to his table to get something signed, because Joe Jusko, he's one of the reasons why I started collecting comics. I bought a couple books, here and there, but when the Marvel Masterpieces in 1992 came out, the inaugural set, I saw those and I was like, wow, the artwork is amazing. And if you looked on the back of the card, you saw a comic book, and collecting all the cards, getting into the characters, reading the bios, and that's what really brought me to where I'm at today. And it would have been nice to say that. I would have loved to have said that to him, but I just never didn't think of it. I was just James O'Barr, and who was very nice, by the way. He took a picture with me, very friendly guy.
When I was getting to the con, the first person that I saw was James O'Barr was outside on the street talking to Rich Buckler, who was the creator of the Deathlock. And I was just like, oh, look at these two, veterans in the industry just chit-chatting outside. But there were a lot of people. I saw at James O'Barr's table, and right next to him was Simon Beasley, who had at least every time I passed Simon Beasley's table on Sunday, he had a line of people there waiting to see him.
Same thing on Saturday. I originally got on Simon Beasley's line thinking, because it was a big line, I was thinking, oh, this is probably for James O'Barr. And so I asked somebody, is James O'Barr? And he's like, no, this is for Simon Beasley. I was like, oh, okay. But it seemed like that guy had like a cult following of people there.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with his Lobo stuff, but I have read a few things that he did back in the day with Kevin Eastman during the Mirage studio days, and so I am familiar with his artwork. But he definitely had a lot of people at his table. And with regards to the Marvel Masterpieces, I agree as well. That was a big thing for me, in the early '90s collecting, and it was so interesting to see people literally with those same cards go to Jusko's table, and he was signing them happily for them, and it's like, it's different than signing a comic book because they're so much smaller, but there he was with a stack of Marvel Masterpieces, signing signatures,
Yeah, he seemed like he was a really, really, what you were telling me, a really, really nice guy. And then reading up on him too, he sounds like a really cool, legit guy.
Yeah. I didn't know when I was looking, just doing some, research on him, and there was a point in time where he stopped with his work as an artist.
Yeah.
And became a New York City police officer.
Yeah, I read that.
Which I thought was interesting. And then eventually, I guess he realized that artwork and painting is his true calling, and he went back to that. But it was very cool to see them. So I think it's overall a good con. I could say that I will go again next year.
Oh, I definitely go again.
And usually I go on Sundays, but happy to just go any day.
Yeah, I wanted to go on Sunday, but I just couldn't because family things with my son and so forth. So, but yeah, Sunday is a good day to go because from what I've been hearing, that sometimes dealers, it's the last day of a con, 2 or 3 day con, they're more willing to do deals for you to try to move some of their stuff.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a good day to go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, the one book that you're going to show up soon, you said walk through the door, the guy wanted to charge $175, but you waited a little bit.
I'll tell you about that.
It shows you that, you definitely want to go to these cons. You want to try to see at least 1 or 2 people before committing, see if you can find perhaps a better deal. And a lot of times you can.
That guy, nice guy. He had a lot of good stuff, but I just think he was overpriced on most of his things. So. But we'll get into that.
So let's get started. We'll show off some of the things that we got. I have a relatively smaller stack than you, so I'll just go real quick here. Of course, I was at the Joe Jusko table, so I was a big fan of his artwork and got this print here of Spider-Man, which he was happy to sign. And I'm going to put this in my small man cave, when I get it back home. So also, this was all I bought from his table, but I also submitted 2 books I could share, but I'll save that for a video down the line. But I was happy to get him to sign that. Then the other person who I was there to meet was Mike Zeck, who I've always wanted to meet. A lot of his stuff I've read in trade format, one of my first comic books, back in the day was a Marvel Essentials Punisher, which I've read many times, and I didn't really have anything high grade to bring him, but I wanted to get something from his table, so he had a photo album book, a compilation of his artwork from over the years, which he signed on the inside cover, and they also, provide a certificate of authenticity, which, of course, you must pay for. This was $3. I only got it for the book, not for the poster print, but Zeck was also nice to take a picture with me, which he did not charge for. And this was the print that I got, and he signed here on the bottom, Mike Zeck. So I'm not sure how well you can see because it's a dark cover, but it's a Punisher. And that's what I wanted. When I was going to see Mike Zeck, I wanted to get something Punisher related because I loved the miniseries that he did in the early 80s, the 1 through 5 limited series. And it was nice to meet him. And I say he didn't charge for the picture because like I told you, one of the books I submitted was a Neil Adams book for a signature series. And Neil's always nice. He's a good businessman. I've met him on a number of occasions before in the past where I've bought things for his table. And when I was getting he used to charge $20 for his fee for a signature. Now it's $30, which I was happy to pay. I was only getting 1 book. And I told him when I was with the CGC facilitator, and I said, I've met you on a number of occasions in the past, and he interrupted me to say, yeah, you look familiar. I said, on those other occasions, I never got a chance to take a photo with you. Do you mind taking a picture with me? And he said, sure, $30. And I said, great, I just paid that for the autograph, but he wanted an additional $30, making it for a grand total of $60, and I just respectfully declined. I didn't think it was that serious where I wanted to pay an additional $30 for a photograph. But I brought up that point about Zeck where he was happy. I bought a few things from his table, but he was happy to take a picture without, charging further, So those were the two artists I really wanted to see, really. Joe Jusko, Mike Zeck, and then Neil Adams for that one book I wanted to get signed.
When you declined for the photo with Neil, was he okay with it? Or did he seem like a little, like...
He kind of like, he kind of gave like a body vibe, like, no, you're not, oh, I thought so. Kind of like he almost anticipated that I wasn't going to want to pay the additional money for the picture, but who would? Who would want to pay, another $30 for a picture? I respect Neil. He's clearly a genius, and that's why I was there as a fan. The book that I submitted for him was the variant that he did for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Batman crossover with IDW and DC. Did a great cover with Batman and the Four Turtles, characters all who I love. And, I'm a fan, but not a fan where I just want to keep on throwing money. So I actually made the decision that I'm not going to be giving any more money to Neil at any con. I'm a matter of principle, but still respect the man, still am a fan of his work, just not going to keep on throwing money at him,
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple, you got a couple autographs from him.
I'm content now. Yeah, I'm content. So just go briefly through the stack of books that I got here. One vendor that was there was a company by the name of CA Comics, and they basically create blank books for people to create their own comic books. And so I had seen them through another Facebook page and was pleased to see that they were at the East Coast Comic Con. So I bought one of each, the regular cover, and then they had like a slightly smaller variant cover. Even though I'm not an artist in any way, I still thought it was cool to pick these up.
They are cool, real cool.
And the rest were just kind of like filler issues that I got. I've been trying to complete the Todd McFarlane run, so this is Amazing Spider-Man number 327 with Magneto on the cover. McFarlane didn't actually do anything with this comic, but his last issue was the one after this, 328, with the Grey Hulk on the cover being punched, so I kind of needed it for my run. And other books were some Venom Lethal Protector. It was a miniseries from the 90s, and I was missing a few issues. I was missing 2, 3, and 6. Of course, everybody remembers the first one, which had that red foil cover and his face on it. So I always liked Venom, so I needed this from finish my miniseries off.
Like I was telling you before, I never even seen Venom Lethal Protector 2, 3, and 4. I always saw the first one, and I've had that book for 20 years and never seen the others. So it was pretty cool to actually see what
the other issues
that they exist.
I also I love those foil covers. The Amazing Spider-Man 375 was similar. It came out around the same time. I remember buying it. It had that gold cover.
Yeah.
But that was something that they did in the 90s, holograms, foil covers, and I liked it, So I got into the current Black Knight series that Marvel is doing now, and I thought that it was going to be an ongoing series, but I finished issue 5 or 6, I forget, and it looks like it said the end. I don't know if more is coming or if it was just a short story arc and that's it, but I like the character and the Ebony Blade and the whole lore behind that, and so I got this for $5. Marvel Superhero Presents Black Knight number 27. Awesome. And this was the series, these Marvel Superheroes Presents. That's where the first Guardian of the Galaxy was,
Guardian of the Galaxies. I think that was number 18. Ms. Marvel showed up. Carol Danvers showed up, I think, in 13.
So there were a few in there.
Yeah, I mean,
and they were all nice, like meaty,
absolutely.
thick reads.
Absolutely. Like the late 60s, Marvel had quite a few of those books that, Silver Surfer, that had the thick spines. The ones that are very hard to find, high grade, without them being crushed.
Yeah.
Quite
a nice one with Dr. Doom I've seen on the cover, green cover. So this isn't too bad. Again, I really just wanted a reader's copy because I'm digging the character. Mm-hmm. So I got that for $5. And I'm a Star Wars fan, so I always pick up some Star Wars. Got some Lando here, 64 pages of Lando from Dark Horse for $1, which I was happy to get. Actually, I may have paid like $2-3 for this one. The next ones are $1, but still. So I was telling Anthony when I first got here that I made a mistake in seeing 1 through 6, but I didn't realize until I got home that 1 and 2 were Crimson Empire number 1, and then issues 3 through 6 were Crimson Empire number 2. So I thought I was actually picking up 1 through 6, but I see that they did 2 different series for this. So now just gives me more things that I have to hunt down in the future.
You could probably definitely find them, at another local con like we were talking about before, like the Wayne Con, or maybe even a local comic book store.
Yeah.
Easily.
So I'll get them eventually, And probably my most favorite pickup from the con, and then I'm done here, and Anthony can share his lot, was I'm a fan of the A-Team from the 1980s. I love the TV show. And Marvel did a great miniseries back in the 80s. It was 3 stories. They did it in a single comic book, regular comic book format, 1, 2, and 3. And then the Marvel graphic novels did a compilation of all 3 stories. So Jim Salicrup was the writer for this series, and I've seen him again, he's a writer. So I've seen him at other cons, and he usually has a table, and he has a little sign there that says, "Lousy Sketches for $5." I've seen it at a New York con. And, so he was there. And I said, last time I saw him, that next time I see Jim Salicrup, I want to get a lousy sketch. But because he's seen me before at his table, he gave me the sketch for free, even though I was happy to pay, which I thought was nice of him. And I wanted something from Mr. T. So this was, I didn't get this at the con. This is my copy. I just wanted to show you. He did a drawing of Mr. T. And so, again, it's a lousy sketch, but it's a damn good lousy sketch.
Yeah,
and, it's pretty good, I think. And what's great is that he's at the table and he's using scented markers. If you guys recall the scented markers from school where the orange smelled like orange, black smelled like licorice. So the man is literally doing lousy sketches with scented markers, and this was my favorite pickup the entire con.
Yeah, that's
I love it.
That's awesome.
And he's a very nice guy, I'm not really sure, to be honest, what it is that he is doing now. I think that he works through some kind of a publishing company called Paper Cuts. So he still is writing, and they do things, I think, with Nickelodeon.
Okay, oh, wow.
But so again, I'm not really privy to his work today, but I love the man for this, because I was a fan of the A-Team, and I love this miniseries, from when I was a kid. And that's the stuff that I picked up from the con. I guess down the line I'll show off those slabs when they come back.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening, and look forward to seeing your stack now.
All right. Before I start with this, I also I mentioned it before, I had my Crow #1 signed by James L. Barr. I got it through CBCS. Like I said earlier, I didn't even know CGC was there, but CBCS is also good. But when that comes back, and you're probably not going to see that till Halloween, that's when I'll put it in a video. One of the other cool things about this con for me is I always go there with a list and I write down a price that I'm willing to pay for each book. And this is like one of the first cons I actually paid the prices I wrote down. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Usually I always go over like, oh, I got to get it. But
how was James O'Barr before you start? How was James O'Barr meeting him?
James O'Barr, I'm glad you brought that up. James O'Barr, he was really, really nice. I asked him for a picture, which he didn't charge for, and he was, put his arm around me. It was really, really cool. It was nice to meet the guy that created the Crow, and it's not just that. Some of the Crow is part of his real personal life. With the death of his fiance back in like the late 70s, and he had all this anger. It sort of mirrors a little bit of the character Eric Draven in the, who is the Crow. So it was really cool to actually meet not just the creator, but it's almost like the actual Crow. That's what was going through my mind. One thing about James O'Barr, he said something as he was signing it, and I didn't really hear him. And sometimes when I don't hear people, I sort of laugh to pretend I heard him. So I don't know how much of an idiot I looked to him because I don't know what he said. But yeah, he was very, very friendly. The little interaction I had, and I was glad I met him.
Cool.
But I still regret not meeting Joe Jusko that was sitting across.
Next time we'll hopefully go together too.
Yes, next time I gotta meet him. Now.
He said that he'd be at the next one, so hopefully we'll see him again.
Then that's the next guy. But when I first walked into the con, I found the first guy who had first vendor. He had a lot of nice books, a little overpriced, but he had some dollar books. These are some of the books I got. Whenever I see Spawns for $1, I pick them up. Spawn #2, First Violator, Spawn #18, which I think has a low print run, #19, and number 21, which also has a low print run. So whenever you see Spawn books for $1, because now they're talking about, Todd McFarlane said something like he has a script ready, pick them up.
They're looking for, I think he says he's trying to seal 2 actors, and then once that's done, I think they'll really be moving with some steam. But it looks like he's trying.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised with all these comic book movies and universes being showcased on film. It's only a matter of time before Image really gets back into it. So definitely get Spawns. I got this. Whenever I see an EC book, a reprint EC book, I pick it up. Now they got it for $1. The guy told me, now that's not the original one. I'm like, well, I know that. I know it's not the one from 1950. But, because this was the first Vault of Horror. First Vault of Horror book to come out in the 1950s. I think it was number 12. It was originally a crime comic series. But reprints, EC, horror books.
Now, humor me. The first one would, if it wasn't a reprint and it was a one from, how much do you think something like that would go for?
Oh, that would be, depending on the grade, Golden Age book. Let's say it was maybe a 2 or a 3. I would imagine the first Vault title would be anywhere between $200, maybe $300, low grade. But it'd be a big difference, and the book would be bigger because it'd be Golden Age.
Right.
But those horror books, the EC horror books, low grade, high grade, very expensive, and I should have more in my collection, but I don't because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four 205. The significance of this book, I paid I think $6 for it. The significance of this book is that it's the first full appearance of the Xandar from the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Glenn Close character and so forth. So with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming out, and I'm pretty sure Xandar is going to be have some role in it, maybe. I know Glenn Close is going to be in it. It's worth picking up, especially if you get it for cheap. Now these 3 I got as a set, and I got these already, except for this one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, the first miniseries, numbers 1, 2, and 3. Now, if those of you that don't know, number 1 is the first appearance of Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang. Bebop and Rocksteady in human form. Number 2 is the first appearance of Bebop and Rocksteady in mutant form, animal form. So these are definitely, with the movie coming out in the summer, these are definitely worth picking up if you could get a good price for them. I bought these with a group of other books I'll show you in a bit, so I got a little bit of a deal.
But for the first set of 3, you said you paid $20. That's a good deal for sure.
Yeah, he had it. He was selling it for $20, and it's a pretty good deal. But if you're looking to get something cheaper, you could probably find those on mycomicshop.com for maybe a few dollars a piece.
Yeah.
A few dollars a piece. I bought them because I was at the con and I wanted to get them with a group of other books. Maybe I would get a deal. That was my mentality for getting them. But it's still a good price to get. Daredevil 153. This is the first appearance of the reporter Ben Ehrlich. Even though he won't be coming back anytime soon on the series, I thought it was a pretty good book to get. I got it for a few bucks. And from the same guy that I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles miniseries from.
I thought the guy that played him in the first season of Daredevil was really good.
He was good.
As an actor, I thought that was a good job.
I was surprised, spoiler alert, I was surprised in the in the first season when, the Kingpin did what he did to him. But I really liked the actor. I like the character, too. I thought the guy did a really great job.
I agree.
Really great job. This I got for $5. Adventure into Fear number 20. This is where Morbius, the living vampire, begins. I like Morbius a lot. It's a mid-grade book. It's got its issues, but for $5, you can't go wrong.
I'd buy it all day for $5.
Yeah. This is another copy. I got this for $12. Absolute Vertigo, the first appearance of Preacher, and it's not the first full appearance, the big one that's really been taken off over the last year.
The book has gone so high now.
Yeah, it really is. It's getting very, very expensive. So, but I thought that was good to pick up. Detective Comics $5.79. I like the Mad Hatter. I saw this book for $1. I couldn't pass it up.
Beautiful cover.
Yeah, beautiful cover. Another Detective Comics $8.26. Another one for $1. Joker holding a gun to Robin's head, black and white cover. That was pretty cool. Can't go wrong. Another Batman book that's $1. Batman 622. I assume that's the Penguin on the cover. But yeah, I thought this was cool, and I needed the issue. Now, those that watch my videos, whenever I talk about Batman, you know that I'm a big Riddler fan. So whenever I could find a Riddler Riddler cover, I buy it. This one was $7. I got that, one of the first books I got. I like the cover. I like anything with excuse me. I like anything with the Riddler.
I love that old classic costume too, with the question mark
Yes,
outfit.
yeah, like the unitard.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a throwback to the way he used to look, and I think the Riddler became popular through the '66 series. Those of you that don't know, Riddler only made 2 appearances in the Golden Age: Detective 140 and 142. You didn't see him again until 1965 with his 3rd appearance, which is called the first Silver Age appearance. And then the following year, the TV series came out, and that's when I think he really became a Batman A-class villain. This is Batman 588. This, for those of you that are watching Gotham, the TV series, it doesn't really follow Batman continuity all that well, but the significance of this issue is it is the first appearance of Matches Malone.
What an awesome name, though, huh? Matches Malone. I love it.
Yeah, he made his appearance the 2nd season of Gotham. Go check it out. The 2nd season's better than the 1st, in my opinion. Batman 260. This is the 2nd appearance of Arkham Asylum. It's one of those thick books, just as the 1st appearance of Arkham Asylum 258 was. But it's in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. I think I spent $25 for it, and this was one of the books that I wanted to get, and why not? Now the last few, excuse me. Marvel Spotlight number 2, the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. I like the character Werewolf by Night. I thought I got a good deal on it until I got home. This is just make sure you ask to open the books before you buy them. It has a spine split, so that's why I got a good deal on it. But I'm still happy to have it. I'm still happy to have Werewolf by Night in my collection.
Definitely a good book to have.
But like what you were saying earlier before we started filming, Marvel, the TV series, all these things are opening up all these new doors for these Bronze Age characters like Blade to show up again. And Werewolf by Night might be one of them down the line. Moon Knight, I think, is rumored to be one. And that book's always been expensive. So it's worth looking into getting these Bronze Age Marvel horror characters or vigilante characters. Because they may sooner or later be in a movie or a TV series. This one, Silver Surfer 3, the first appearance of Mephisto. This was the 2nd book on my list that I wanted to get for the con. It's a mid-grade copy. I like Mephisto. I like Mephisto a lot. He's really, really creepy. And if you know the character, you know why. But as I was flipping through the pages of this and reading it, man, the way he was drawn in this book, and just his interaction with the Silver Surfer is like really, really nasty character and true to who he's supposed to be. So this book I wanted for a while.
Is that artwork with John Buscema in that?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. But
that cover is beautiful.
Yeah, really nice. I like it a lot. And the last book, one of the 3rd book I was looking to get at the con, Batman 635, the first appearance of Jason Todd as the Red Hood. It's not the first appearance of Jason Todd. It's not the first appearance of the Red Hood, but it's the first appearance of him as the Red Hood. Definitely a book to get for anybody. Now, we were talking off camera. I got this, I went to the first vendor. That first vendor I saw, and he had a lot of in my opinion, a lot of great books, but a lot of overpriced books. And he was selling this for, I think, $175. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I had a price in my mind. I wasn't going to go any higher than $75. Walked around, and I found it for $50. So you can't go wrong with that, you know. But it's definitely worth about a $50. It's a good $50 book. Maybe 9. I have a 9.0 on it. Maybe better. I don't know. But definitely a good book to have if you're a Batman fan.
Very cool. As you saw, you can't just go with the first price. I mean, you have to keep in mind these guys at the con. The reality is that they're there, to make a profit. That's Absolutely. Their purpose, and I don't knock them for that. It is what it is, But at the same time, you want to. I think that's great that you do that. That you go there with a particular price in mind for the book in question, so that you know what, the guy wants 80, 75 is my limit. I'm not paying 80.
Yeah, and that's a reasonable offer to make, though. If he was selling it for 80 and I wanted to do 75, I mean, You say, how about
Right.
$75? I mean, he's more likely to do that, and that $5 could go toward something else. You save along the way. That adds up for maybe another book. But this was the first con, though, that I really followed it to a T, though, with
Very nice.
spending what I set out to spend.
No, that's smart, because it's easy to drop some some money at these things, and like we were saying earlier, the next con, as far as, because I consider the cons where you're going to see artists like this, bigger cons, because like we were saying earlier, we have some local ones where there aren't necessarily artists doing signings, but you can go find books. As far as these larger kind of cons, I think that I'm good until probably the New York Comic Con in October.
Yeah, same here. I got a couple nice books. I'm going to collect here and there, like local cons or wherever, eBay, but really, really big books I'm saving up for the New York Con. That's going to be the next big thing for me.
October, can't wait.
Absolutely.
It'll be my 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, mine too. I started going in 2014 with my friend Brian, and went last year, and I'm hoping to go this year.
Yeah, very cool. So this is our first time doing a video like this. We're both New Jerseyans. I live a little bit further up north, but we hope that you guys like the idea of we met on YouTube and we've become pals now, and if you guys like this video, feel free to share your comments and your thoughts below. And maybe down the line we'll do more, collaborations like this.
That would be great. I would look forward to that.
Thanks for opening up your home. I'm in Anthony's house today. He was kind enough to let me into his man cave, and I dig it, very much. Maybe the next one we'll do in my place.
Absolutely. Mine's a little cluttered, but
still very nice. I love the ambiance. So
thank you.
Thanks you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys down the line.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.